Alright, thank you guys so much for the wait. Welcome into the stream. Today is April 21st, 2025. And to begin today's live stream, let's take a look at the economic calendar here. Alright, so Monday of April 21st, we don't really have any red photo news or anything that I do want to take a look at. Yeah, not really much, but coming into the technicals here. So this is the weekly candle from last week here. And with the way that we created this candle, I can anticipate, right, with the way that we close, I can anticipate for prices to take out the weekly low. And once we opened up here on Sunday, we took out the daily low from, I guess, Friday's trading last week. And we started to continue to drift lower, and we ended up taking out previous week's low here, which was the weekly objective for the week. And so coming into this morning, I don't want to force an idea, right? I really don't want to force an objective here onto NQ or ES. Depending on how we close on, the 4-hour time frame, will tell me if we should continue lower or higher, right? So every single candle has an objective. And so referring back to, like, for example, like the weekly candle that I showed you guys just earlier, that weekly candle's objective was the weekly low. But if you apply the same concepts, right, like with the way that we close here on this weekly candle, power of 3, what can you anticipate the next candle to do? For me, the next objective for prices to do here was to take out the weekly low. And so because of the power of 3. And so let's apply that concept but onto a different time frame. So 4-hour time frame, 8-hour time frame. What does both of those time frames suggest? Lower prices, right? Well, we haven't closed on them yet, but if we were to close right now on the 4-hour and the 8-hour, then the assumption would be that the next 4 hours and the next 8 hours, we should end up taking out that respective low, right? And you can apply this to every single time frame. This model, this idea is fractal. Every single candle has an objective. So that's my idea coming into the morning. Like I stated before, don't necessarily have a bias. Previous day low, previous week's low, both of those lows have been already taken out. So I really don't want to force. I don't want to force anything here coming into this week, coming into today. And I mean, it's interesting. I do want to take a look at the dollar here. The dollar has been pretty bearish. And when I mean pretty, like, we've been bearish for the past 4 months now, which is interesting. Right? This weaker dollar narrative is interesting. I haven't been in this environment yet, right? Where weaker dollar. What does that mean, weaker dollar? Well, if we have a weak dollar, that means that somewhere the dollars around the around the world, the it could lose its, okay, let's not say that, because I feel like that's a little bit too negative. I don't want to give it such a negative connotation, but this decline in the dollar relative to, like, compared to other currencies, we aren't going to be as strong as where we were before, right? We're at 98 right now. Earlier we were at 114, and this decline in the dollar, it could signify a couple of things, but maybe currencies are not, or not currencies, but other foreign countries are not as reliant on the dollar anymore in their reserves, so they could possibly be selling, treasuries or whatever, and causing the dollar to decrease in its value. We'll see here. So let's just ask ChatGPT reasons for a weaker dollar. A weaker dollar can be caused by a variety of economic and political and market factors. So low interest rates. When the Federal Reserve lowers interest rates, returns on U.S. assets become less attractive to investors. So, I mean, whoever's investing into the dollar, right? They don't get that much of a return in saving or having dollars in the reserve. It just doesn't make sense to, right? In environments of low interest rates, high inflation, that just, right, the purchasing power of that dollar or that currency just becomes pretty deteriorated. It's not as strong as it used to be. So high inflation, making the dollar less valuable. Trade deficits. A large trade deficit means the U.S. is importing more than it exports. This increases the supply of dollars. This increases the supply of dollars, putting downward pressure on the dollar's value. Because other, I guess, other countries are buying, or not buying, but we are buying like other services, other products from other countries with the dollar. So that means the dollar's going to that other country, and the more dollars that we give out, the more pressure there is on the value of the dollar. Slow economic growth, rising national debt. All right. But yeah, this decline in the dollar, this is interesting. But yeah, let's just stay on the NQ charts here. And like I said, my best bet coming into today is to use the intraday time frames. So these 4 time frames here, 4, 6, 8, and 10 hour. That's going to be my best bet coming into this week it's not coming into this week, but coming into today at least. I just want to see how we close in the 4 and the 8 for a morning objective. But yeah, I'm gonna hop into just a chess game just so I can warm up the brain here. With this move here first to defend this pawn. Interesting. Go here. Go here. go here. I'll go to here. I'll go here. Okay. Go here, here, and then yeah, I'll go here. I feel like he's gonna go here. Yep. And I can go here, but and then he just let's not do that. I should probably start working towards this pawn here. Oi. Okay. Okay. Wait, am I trolling? Oh, I'm trolling. Oh my goodness. Ay, 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 ay. We are taking a beating, boys. Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. Dạ.
Lát con có chạy qua nhà Nhật, con mua két nước mang về nhà, con hết nước uống rồi ấy.
Biết rồi mà.
Nha. Mua hết nước rồi. Còn chai nước.
Oh boy. I feel like this is... I think I was winning at one point in this game, but... It's okay, things happen. Wow. Whoa. This is no good. This is no good. This is no good. if he gets another king or queen, bro, it might be GG's. It might be lost. I think if I lose, oh no. Oh yes. Wait, I could actually, can I pull something out here? Actually, I actually just got 2 of his things, which is pretty good. I feel like there's okay. I'm just gonna wait. Okay, let's just draw then. If you wanna draw. If you wanna get a draw, we can get a draw. If you wanna get a straw, we can get a straw. Let's try to get him a check. And we give him a check. Okay, I think I should be chilling now. I mean, it's literally, I can get this queen. I get a queen here. I just have to just play my cards right. Slowly push. I'm running low on time. Quite low on time. Yeah, bye, man. Oh my gosh. Wow. 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 Well, 5 more minutes left till we open here. I do want to look at the... Bye, ma! Let's see. Did I get tagged into my account? Energy. Let's see where energy prices are. Let's see. I like where we are on energy actually, because if I can get tagged into this fair value gap here later, I would like to see us drop into there, to be honest. Same thing here on Vistra as well. That would require it to go all the way down into there. NEE. Interesting. Where is NQ at? 4 more minutes left to the closure here. Rather very interesting. Let's see if we trade it back into the discount of this dealing range yet. So not yet. From dealing range swing high to dealing range swing low. There is, so that from that swing high to this swing low, there is a dealing range, right? And depending on how we close here on this 4-hour candle, it's about to close it here in about like 2 minutes. I would like to see us trade back into the discount of this daily range. I want to see us trade into this this green shaded box, right? It would make sense for us to, and I really would like to see us trade back into here. We don't really have any SMTs yet, or actually we do, but it's not, I mean, there is SMT, right? But yeah, and no SMT between them. There at least. So yeah, I mean, coming into this morning, I would like to see us trade into the discount of this dealing range within the next 4 hours. So the higher time frame objective is for us to retrace back into the discount of that dealing range, and maybe even like quite possible this dealing range as well. But I'll just stick between this one first. Let me bring down to the 15-minute time frame just so I could see where it's at. 15-minute time frame. Alright, so there we go. The thing about this one here is this 15-minute low is actually the same low as the 4-hour low, and the 4-hour low is the same low as the 8-hour low. What does that mean? That means that we should complete the 4-hour/8-hour objective within the next 15 minutes. That idea is called scope. It kind of helps us understand when prices should complete a specific objective. I'm trying to log into my trade account here, just in case I might be presented with something, but doesn't seem to be letting me get into my account here right now. What the heck? Why is it not letting me log into my account, bro? Well, I might just have to just... Oh, never mind. Well, it turns out that we just completed the objective either way. And, yeah, I mean, as soon as we opened up here on the 10-hour candle, we instantly took out the 4-hour low, which was my draw of liquidity. And we also traded into the discount of this dealing range as well. So there's that. That is us retracing back into the discount of the 4-hour dealing range / I guess daily dealing range as well. So I guess now I mean we're going to have to pivot here, but for sure let's see if we can dig into this dealing range, right? And if we're going to have SMTs here, because ES is actually relatively stronger. I mean, I want to say stronger, but it's not as close to this swing low here as NQ, right? Look at where NQ is. Look how small the gaps are. It's not like that's ES's gap. and this is NQ's gap, right? That box on NQ is smaller. So I guess you could say that NQ is weaker, but I mean, who knows? Maybe ES is going to play catch up and we actually end up taking out that swing low too. And if we do take out that swing low on both the indices, then there is no SMT. But if we end up having an SMT, then we could have a, you know, a short-term low created, or who knows, maybe a long-term low. But for now, let's see if we can retrace back into the discount of this dealing range, and yeah. Alright, well hopefully, yeah, that shows you guys how I trade and how I do prices. But now I do want to take a look at my trading journal and go into my pros and cons here. If it's going to let me. If it's going to let me. Alright, so some of the pros and cons coming into. Wait, this is wrong. That's gotta be. There we go. That seems about right. So some of the pros and cons here from previous week. I was able to continue to take consistent trades. If you guys were watching my live streams last week, you know, I only took one trade last week, and consistent trades doesn't mean how frequent are my trades, right? I'm not taking 10 trades a day. Sometimes I might not even take a trade in a whole week. But the idea of a consistent trade is that the concepts that I apply should be like very systematic. I should be able to replicate it over and over and over again. How do I even take consistent trades? Well, there are 3 components, 3 criterias that needs to be met before I even take a trade, before I even press the button. The first, requiring a higher time frame objective, right? Understanding what the higher time frame wants to do, where it wants to go. Is it going to trade back into the discount of a dealing range? Is it going to expand towards existing liquidity? Those are higher time frame objectives. Those are kind of how I frame the outer layer of my trade. The model is it's just a concept where I'm going from the higher time frame onto a lower time frame relative to the higher time frame, right? So I could go from like the 4-hour onto the hourly for my model. That helps me understand where, and it helps me kind of align myself with the higher time frame objective, right? And an entry pattern, just having some sort of fair value gap that supports both the higher time frame objective and the model direction. So if I'm bearish, I should have a SIBI, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. Inverse, if I'm bullish, I should have a BISI, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. Your entry pattern for yourself, it could be a numerous amounts of things. It could be an order block, it could be a breaker block, mitigation block, whatever it be. But for me, fair value gap is going to really be how I enter off of things. Second, pros and cons here. Power of 3. Understanding what the next candle is going to do, right? So like I kind of told you guys here, coming into this morning, I wanted to see us take out this green line, which is the 4-hour low. If I know the next 4-hour candle should take out the 4-hour low, then I want to be a seller above the open in that manipulation phase of a candle, right? If you know a candle is going to be, I guess, down close or it's going to continue lower, your best sell your best sells are going to be here in that little trade up, right? In that wick up. And inverse to that is if you're anticipating the next candle to be a up close candle, meaning it's going to open, manipulate lower, trade higher, right? Your best buys in a scenario like that would be here. That's your best buys. And yeah, that's literally power of 3. You're just essentially you're anticipating what that next candle is going to do. And if you're a buyer, you want to be a buyer below the open. If you're a seller, if you think the next candles should take out the previous candle's low, then you want to be a seller above the open. It's a simple concept, but when actually implementing it, it's a little bit, I guess, not hard, but it's easier if you actually mark out the open like how I do here. Weekly open, you can see my monthly open, but yeah. Having those, like, I guess, marks on your chart and understanding the next candle, it's very crucial. So power of 3. And the last thing here that I did good, I guess, pros, is really understanding that time is fractal. Every single time frame here on this chart, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, every single time frame has an objective, right? So like all of these candles here on the monthly time frame has its own specific objective, down to the weekly, daily, 4 hour. Once you understand that every single time frame has an objective, a new world is going to present itself to you, and you'll just be really you'll have a lot more opportunities, right? If you were just on one specific time frame. And being on one specific time frame, you don't understand what all of the other time frames are telling you, right? You could have a bullish 1 minute model, but what if on the higher time frame here, right, on the monthly time frame, it's been telling you that we've been on this, like, this decline. So lower prices could mean nothing if you don't understand, like, perspective, if you don't understand what all of the time frames are telling you. And yeah, those are some of my pros. Some of my cons, specifically this week, I do want to speak about energy companies and just energy stocks in general, because if we are going to expand our AI industry, right, we are going to need a lot of energy. I think one prompt on OpenAI, the energy that is required is able to turn on a LED Bud light thingy for about like 5 hours, something like that. So it takes a lot of energy for AI, and if we're going to grow in the AI industry and if we're going to really improve our technology, our energy consumption is going to increase. And so if we know that, right, if we take it from the very bare basics, we know energy is going to be in demand as we grow as a civilization. I don't know how, we could end up being able to efficiently create energy sources, but as of right now, like 90% of our energy comes from fossil fuels. But yeah, just having, I think for me, just understanding what companies is going to be beneficial for the AI surge, right, is key to my it's key to my investment decision right now. As of right now, I really do want to invest into energy companies, as, like I said, we are going to be needing that energy to supply the demand for energy from AI. And yeah, so some improvements here. Just taking consistent trades. How am I going to do that? Like I said, having those three components: higher time frame objective, a model, and an entry pattern. Second, understanding power of three. Power of three: open, high, low, close, anticipating the next candle. If it's a down close candle that you're anticipating, you want to be a seller above the open. If you're a buyer, you want to be a buyer below the open. And the last thing, time is fractal. So that's going to wrap it up for my improvements here for the upcoming week. For this, I guess for this week as well, the weekly market analysis, I wasn't really able to do it for you guys this week. But NQ, yes, I wanted to see us take out the weekly low, which we did end up doing. Right? With the way that we closed on the weekly time frame, that's the most likely draw of liquidity. After we take out the weekly low, I would elect to take it one day at a time and determine what that daily candle wants to do. But yeah, both ES and Q, they've already completed the objective for me at least. I don't necessarily have anything else that I do want to mention here on the charts at least. But yeah. It's interesting seeing this stock sell off, and we're selling off on stocks, but who knows what we might end up doing. But we'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's live stream. Hopefully you guys were able to kind of have a better insight of how I trade. I'm going to be live tomorrow as well, and